And welcome everyone to our Lynx Global Intelligence Lunch and Learn series for May 2023. I'm Trevor Jones, the CEO of Lynx. We're excited to host you for this virtual event today. These Lunch and Learns are a monthly series we do to really educate our partners in the market about our software. In the past, we've had several of our users that are using the platform in the field, but also some other ESG experts that are talking about the need for on-the-ground data collection at the mine site. So, implementing a digital strategy at the mine is going to save customers time and money and prepares companies to mitigate risk and best report not really just to regulators, but also to finance and would-be investors and acquirers with timely, transparent, and accurate data. And that's really where Lynx comes in. So our cloud-based platform works both online and offline at the mine site to help mine staff capture really a range of health, safety, environmental, and other types of data. In the past, this data has really been captured largely through field notebooks and spreadsheets. Lynx is helping our users go paperless and achieve an enhanced efficiency, both with that data capture and some downstream reporting as well. So today we'll cover some of the specific functions inside the Lynx platform that are helping our users save time and money. We'll be covering how to create a custom category login event, how to filter data in an event grid for reporting and sharing information, and also crucially how to add a widget to utilize environmental monitoring data as well. So today with me, we have our Vice President of Strategy and Operations, that's Joe Murdy. He'll be demonstrating how to utilize these features. I'll walk us through it. And with any of our Lunch and Learns, you're more than welcome to click on that Q&A button to ask any questions as we go along. So Joe will go ahead and share his screen and his instance of the Lynx platform. Really the first thing we're going to demo today is how to create a new event category to track in the platform. So during the implementation process, we work with our customers to identify data categories. But as companies grow, they may need to capture their own kind of custom categories, track more data, and add those additional categories as they go along. So, we're always happy to engage our customers and help add these categories, but the platform is really set up to empower our users to develop and track data in a way that kind of optimizes the platform for their organization. So it's designed to be kind of simple and intuitive for our users to accomplish this. The first step when you log in is to navigate to that settings tab. That's going to be on the left-hand side at the bottom there. Once you're in the settings tab, you're going to select the events button. Here you're going to see everything you need to set up the event form, including custom fields, categories, and subcategories. So Joe's going to start by creating a new category for a new type of data. We already have some pre-existing categories in the platform, but for today's example, we're going to add a biodiversity category, another type of data that miners may need to track around the exploration or the mine site. So first, Joe will type biodiversity into the category field, add a description if he needs. And then he'll click that add button, and we'll now see biodiversity as one of the category options. So that's great. Now we have the category set up. Let's create a subcategory and associate that with the main category we just created. You'll navigate down the page to the subcategories section, and he'll select that category to be associated with, as Joe's showing, in this case, biodiversity. We'll add wildlife into the subcategory box. And also you can add a description if necessary as well. Once you're complete with that, you're going to click add. Now, before we progress into adding our custom fields, there are some important features available to our users. It's important to note that once we have added a category or subcategory, we can determine additional requirements or begin mapping compliance standards to the category or subcategory. So selecting the edit icon, you will see these additional options displayed as checkboxes. The options available to you are going to be one, requiring a subcategory to ensure that data entered in this category is captured with the appropriate level of detail or to meet compliance and reporting requirements. Number two will be limiting access to users to let the user control which data is viewed by who in the organization. It's going to help you control security, editing, viewing, and use of data while still enabling maximum cooperation across your organization. Number three is requiring follow-up for an event associated with a data category. That now enables data to be reviewed by a designated party, excuse me, within the organization, making sure there's a clear responsibility around sensitive data for quality assurance and quality control, and also third-party audit. The fourth will be mapping compliance standards. That's going to save time for our customers. They don't have to worry about constantly having to remember what data belongs to each standard that's out there. Lynx Platform is agnostic with reporting standards, meaning that it remains agile and adaptable as organizational needs change. So for now, we're going to select the reviewable box and associate a few standards to demonstrate how these functions work once we're working on the add event form here in a second. So just selecting that this category is reviewable and a few standards to associate with that event type. So since we've covered the details of categories and subcategories, we're going to begin setting up a form for data capture with custom fields. Let's focus on creating a custom field to track the type of wildlife observed. Click on the Add button to create a new field. For this example, we'll choose Wildlife Observed as the field name and select Single Dropdown as the field type. You can also specify whether the field is required or disabled if it's no longer needed. Now we need to associate this field with the category and subcategory. In this case, we'll associate it with the biodiversity category and the wildlife subcategory. Finally, we'll add different drop-down values like amphibian, mammal, and avian as the species examples, as Joe just showed you. Finally, we know we will need to count the number of wildlife observed, so let's add another custom field called number of wildlife and make a required field associated with the biodiversity category and wildlife subcategory. It's important to note that we're now selecting a number box instead of a dropdown, so the user can quickly enter the numerical value for counting purposes. A final note on custom categories, make sure to associate specific categories or subcategories, otherwise it'll appear on all forms. If you're no longer going to use a custom category, select disabled after dissociating the standard to make sure it does not appear. Now we're all set up to add events from the field and can navigate back to our Events tab. Make sure no filters are selected and you'll see the event grid. To add a new event, click on the Add New Event button on the top right. The event form will open. It's organized for easy navigation. You'll first notice that Joe selected an add event instead of a scheduled event because the event is being captured in real time, will not be completed at a future date. We then associate the event with the relative asset, provide a general location. You can refine this location later if needed. Next, select the appropriate category and subcategory for the event. This will open the additional fields section where you'll see the custom fields we just added. As you can see, the custom fields wildlife observed, wildlife species, and number of wildlife can be filled in. Finally, as we complete the form, you're also going to be able to see that standards and frameworks have been auto-populated. If necessary, we can refine the location for this data. Joe's going to click on use current location to show how the map navigates easily and quickly to your current location. Users can also add attachments like pictures and videos as well to the event form. Finally, we save the form. You see it available in the event grid. This is confirmed by the event created dialog box. It's green on the lower right-hand corner of your screen. When clicking into the event, users will also have a quick view and share option through an event-specific URL, allowing users to share the event with colleagues or outside stakeholders. And finally, users can also mark events as reviewed when completed. And so adding data categories, subcategories, and custom forms is an easy way to ensure your team is tracking the precise data needed in the field. The add event form quickly places information in the event grid where it can be reviewed, shared, and marked completed. So now that we've added data to our grid, we'll be demonstrating how to filter our event data. This will allow you to set up your widgets and to export data. So we can dive right in. Since we're already on the event grid, we can determine which category we want to filter on. In this case, let's look at all the community relations meetings we've had near the mine this year. To do that, click on the filter icon. The first thing we need to do is find the relevant category. Click on the drop-down menu and select community relations. Great, now you can see the category field is populated with the filter icon. Next, we might want to narrow down our search further. Let's say we only want to see the First Nations meetings that have occurred. We can do that by selecting the subcategory. This provides an easy way to filter data to exactly what the user needs. As you can see, the number of available events has been significantly refined based on our filter criteria. Now let's add a date filter to our search. We have two options to think of, either due date or complete date. Due date refers to a scheduled event in the future, while complete date includes events that have already occurred in the past. In this case, let's focus on complete date. Once you've selected the date option, you'll see several filtering options. If you want to work within a specific date range, we have two more options to consider. Let's choose within a range for now. Since we want to look at past events, let's set the range to the last 30 days. You can easily adjust this range based on your specific needs. As you can see, the grid now displays all the community relations events that have occurred in the last 30 days. If you want to extend the time range, you can select a higher value, say 60 days. This is known as a floating date range and will continually display data within that range. By using the is between option, we can be even more specific with our date filtering. This is particularly useful for building quarterly or monthly data analysis for reports. Let's say we want to look at all events that occurred in April. Similarly, if we want to look at events from a specific quarter, let's say quarter one, we can set the date range from January 1st through March 31st. This can be useful for creating quarterly reports. The last step in the filtering process is the ability to save the filter. We can click on Save Filter, and after naming the filter, it will be saved globally for the entire organization to utilize. Filtering is an important tool in the Lynx platform that allows users to export data that their colleagues and other stakeholders need in real time and to create reports for regulators, investors, and potential acquirers. Finally, we're going to be going over how to add a widget for monitoring data like water quality, noise, or air quality to our dashboard. This widget will allow you to track and compare data from different environmental monitoring stations inside the Lynx platform. So let's get started. Here on the dashboard, you'll see the option to add a new widget. When you select Add Widget, you'll have two types to choose from, a system widget and a custom widget. Today, we'll focus on system widgets. These widgets are pre-built and designed to track data that is widely used across the organization. For this demo, we'll specifically look at environmental monitoring data. Let's select the monitoring results by date and value widget. By clicking on this widget, we can start configuring what we want to track. The first step is going to be to choose the location you want to monitor. In this case, we have 5 different options. We'll select monitoring point Canada 003 as our monitoring location. Monitoring locations are static and do not move. Now let's choose the parameter we want to focus on. You can add multiple parameters, but for today, we'll focus on cyanide since this is a water monitoring station. Next, we need to select the type of values we want to track. We have the option to choose from average, maximum, or limit. For this demo, let's start by tracking the limit value. Now we can see the limit we have preset for this monitoring location. In this case, it's 10 parts per million cyanide. Additionally, we can track the maximum values over a specific time range. Let's enable that option. As you can see, the limit value is now represented by a purple bar, and the value for cyanide is shown as an orange bar. At the bottom, you'll see Canada 003 cyanide along with the limit value. Now let's choose a time frame for our data. We have various options available, but for now, let's select last year to observe the trends till the end of December from last year. By doing this, we can see the drop-off in values starting from January. The graph represents the yearly values from January 1st to December 31st, 2022. If we want to compare locations for the same parameter, we can easily add a different monitoring station. Let's select Canada 002 to see a comparison between the two data sets. Now we can see that Canada 002 is overlaid with Canada 003. The limit values for both locations are displayed. We can compare them side by side. And finally, once we're done configuring and comparing the monitoring stations, we can name this widget, save it, and navigate back to the dashboard. The widget we created will be readily available on the homepage, providing easy access to the data whenever users log in. Here we see a graph for all the cyanide values for the last year. Monitoring is a crucial part of risk management at the mine site. Enhanced monitoring visibility is important for mining companies who want to put all of their monitoring information in one place and save time and money on risk mitigation and reporting. So we hope you've enjoyed getting to see some of the functionality that's built into the Lynx platform. This is just a start. We'll be going over 3 more functions at next month's Lunch and Learn for our June edition. If there are any questions on what you've seen, please take the time to hit that Q&A button. If not, we will go ahead and wrap up. And as always, you are welcome to contact any of the Lynx team members offline. I'm at Trevor@lynxglobalintelligence.com. Joe's at Joe@lynxglobalintelligence.com. and we'll see you next month.